yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. No penalties awarded unless it is inside the 18-yard spot. 18-yard box. The corner, you see the little cones in the corner, the little pies. That's where the corners are taking place. You can't take it anywhere more to the right or to the left of that. It has to be within that little spot. The goalkeeper 6-yard box. If the ball goes out for a goal kick, this is where the goalkeeper will kick the ball from on that line. The goal post, that signals where the goals are to and how they score the goals. So they must score within those two goal posts. And on the side, you can't see it in this picture, but there are normally two little boxes for the managers to stand in. The managers aren't allowed to come out that box, but in some cases it is allowed. Say if you're 90th minute and you score a late winner, obviously it's going to be emotional, and you see some managers come flying out of that box to celebrate with their fans or with the players. The equipment. So in football, it's quite a rough game in some people's eyes. Some people think it's not, but there is some things you need to be wary about. You need shin pads. If you do not wear shin pads, you will not be allowed to play no matter what the circumstances are, as it could end up in a broken shin or maybe other severe injury. No jewellery are allowed either. That's in most sports, to be fair. And wristbands. Gum shields in some cases. Not many people do it because you don't really get too much action to the face, but a cheeky little elbow from a dirty player or something could cause some serious damage to your face. So that's why some players wear gum shields. Also scrum mat. So you see Petr Cech wearing a scrum mat because of a severe injury he had when he was younger playing football. So that is order for protection. All the teams will wear the same kit. So say Liverpool, they wear a standard red kit, whilst Man City wear a blue kit. That means that the players can obviously see where they're passing to and who their teammates are and things like that. Players can wear any footwear which consists of AstroTurfs, moulded or studs, but obviously if it's a wet and slippery day, obviously the players will wear football studs, metal studs, in order to grip the ground more sufficiently. However, if the ground is solid and hard, then obviously Astros or moulders will be used, because studs will be dangerous and not very good on a rock hard surface. The size of the ball in men's football, the size of the ball is a size 5 and the material is leather. But if you go to the younger stages of football, so the under 9s and that, they can use a size below, like size 4s and things like that. But to the elite levels in normal football, it is a rule to have a size 5 ball. Scenario. So, in one of the World Cup playoffs to get into the World Cup, Luis Suarez, famous for his probably dirtiness, against Ghana, he handballed the ball, sadly for Ghana, and the ref did see it. So the ref blew his whistle and he pointed to the spot with his hand, and he pulled Luis Suarez over and he told him what he'd done wrong. He handballed the ball on the line to stop a clear-cut opportunity. Therefore, he issued Suarez a red card to be sent off. That meant that Uruguay were down to 10 men and they could suffer from the game. Therefore, the referee made sure everyone was out of the box when this happened. He made sure that the ball was on the penalty spot, and then he made sure that the keeper and that was ready before he blew his whistle, made sure everything was fine. He blows his whistle for the attacker to shoot, but sadly the Ghana player obviously missed that, and Suarez celebrated like an absolute, he was so emotional, and even though how dirty it was, how he cheated Ghana out of the World Cup, obviously he done it for his team, and they probably were all by thanking him by the end of it. And then obviously he waits for the players to do their celebration, not making them celebrate too long, and making sure all the players are outside the box for the ref to blow the whistle and for the keeper to kick the ball. That is how the play then resets. Again, in the World Cup against Colombia, Kane was being wrestled like hell by the Colombians in the box. The referee saw it a couple times, but it wasn't enough to give a penalty. The referee warned the players to stop grappling and things like that. And once the corner was delivered in, obviously Kane was wrestled to the ground again, and the referee pointed to the spot. Issued the player with a yellow card because it wasn't a clear-cut opportunity, but still it was a penalty. Obviously the players were digging up the penalty spot on that because they didn't think it was, in which the referee pulled him over and said it was unfair and things like that. It's for simulation, and then obviously yellow carded him, and then he settled everyone, got them all outside the box. And once everyone was ready, checking the ball was on the spot, he blew his whistle for the play to get set. Kane scored, celebrated for a little bit, and the ref made sure he wasn't celebrating too long. And then, obviously, once the players all reset and things like that, he made sure that everything was okay, looking round, making sure the linos were all set up and that, ready for the play to begin by blowing his whistle. Finally, the Zidane headbutt in the World Cup. It was probably the most tragic thing what happened for France in that year, as they could have won it. But obviously, Grosso, the Italian boy, was obviously winding Zidane up, maybe saying a couple things and whispering into his ear, which the ref couldn't see. Obviously, the ref turned around and Zidane nastily headbutted the Italian player to the floor. Obviously, everyone went up in flames, all the players and things like that. The referee whistled and got everyone at ease again, while sending off Zidane after having words with him about he cannot headbutt anyone in football. It is a contact sport, but there is no chance you're getting away with a headbutt. Sent him off, got the play pointing to the spot. Well, he didn't point to the spot, sorry. It was just a foul. But obviously, he pointed to where the foul was. The lino was flagging for extra eyes on the situation. And then the players reset once the players are allowed back into position. And the ball was kicked after the whistle had been blown to restart the play. The next sport will be netball. So the timing. A match consists of 4 quarters in which they will play 15 minutes and a 4-minute interval in between the first, second and the third, fourth quarter. Half time consists of 12 minutes, or if agreed on, change to 8 minutes. Teams change ends each quarter. The time can't be expected unless a penalty pass is given, in which it must be taken before the play is ended. If the game is tied at full time extra time is given to determine a winner, in which the times of the halves will be specified and there will be a 4-minute interval at full time. The extra time will have 2 halves of equal time, not exceeding the 7-minute mark, with a 1-minute interval. Scoring. A goal is scored when the ball is thrown through the hoop by the goal shoot or goal attack within the allowed zones. If the whistle is blown before scoring, the goal is disallowed. If a different position scores, for example the centre, than the ones mentioned above, it means that there's a no goal and a foul will be given. If the shot is blocked by a defender, but it still goes through the hoop, the goal is considered a goal, and play will resume as a kickoff as the goal has been given. To score, you must be within the goal circle, which is specified on the playing area, which I'll show you later. You must shoot within 3 seconds of the ball coming to you, and you must obey the footwork rule. So this means you must pivot or land on 2 feet or 1 foot. The umpire will signal their hand vertically if the goal is obviously allowed. This is how you know when a goal has been given. The main official is the umpire. So the umpire controls the match according to the rules. Decisions are final. So this means if they have given a foul or given a goal, which some members of the opposing team may not think is right, they will obviously look to the umpire bench to obviously talk about it, but at the end of the day, it's their final It's their final say. They perform a toss-up between themselves as well to see what part of the court they get. The winner of the toss-up controls the sidelines and the goal end to the right when facing the court. Each umpire controls the same half of the court through the whole game. The umpire starts the game with a whistle. If the sanction has been given in the co-umpire's half, they can resume the play, and either umpire may hold time for injury of the player. A reserve umpire comes on when the main umpire falls ill or becomes injured. They can assist the umpires with procedures during the intervals and prior to the match, and they are seated at the umpire's benches. Also, if a player is sent off, they supervise that suspended player instead of the player going back to their team. The technical officials. There are 2 scorers and 2 timekeepers and any other specified for the event. The scorers are there to accurately keep the score for the game, and the timekeepers are there to be responsible for keeping time of the game and when the interval should begin. Obviously, the umpires will have a whistle to let the players know when half-time has begun or when each quarter has stopped. Also, when a foul has been given, things like that. They won't need a stopwatch like a referee would have, because they have a timekeeper. Like a referee in football would have. They'd have a timekeeper and things like that. Squad size. So there's it's a 7-a-side game. So, and there are in which there are 7 different positions. So you have your goalkeeper, your goal defence, your wing attack, your centre, your goal attack, and your goal shoot. This means that they are specified to a certain position, and there's no other formation in this. Like football, you can change the formation and things like that, but no, you are set to this position in netball. Ball out of play. The play is stopped and the ball is awarded to whichever team didn't knock the ball out of play. This would occur when the ball crosses the sidelines of a court. So just like football and any other team sports, the designated area of play on the court, if the ball goes beyond the sidelines, the ball will be awarded to the other team. Fouls. So a free pass is given for a minor infringement and a penalty pass is awarded for a major infringement. So an example of some free passes would be the ball must be played through each third. So basically there are 3 thirds on the pitch. They must be played from each third. If a third goes from, say, the goal circle end all the way over to the other goal circle end, that would be a foul and it would be awarded a free pass to the opposing team. You cannot move with the ball. You can only pivot. So if you take a couple steps with the ball, then that will be awarded a free pass to the other team, as it is a non-moving sport. Sorry. Also, offside is awarded when a player crosses the wrong designated zone. Therefore, if you have a goalkeeper and they wander off into the middle zone, that isn't allowed, so they will be given offside. These will all be awarded as a free pass. Also, another foul. Players must stand 3 feet away before trying to intercept the ball. If they go beyond that measurement and they become 2 feet, or they're right up close into their opponent's face, this means that a penalty pass will be given and they can pass or shoot from that place. Also, netball is a non-contact sport, so any slapping at the ball whilst they're in their hand like basketball would, or any like shoulder barges, things like that, obstruction, this won't be tolerated and it will be given as free pass or penalty passes if it is obstruction being portrayed. So here's the playing area. So as you can see, you've got your positions. So you've got your centre in the middle, and then the opposing centre outside of that middle circle, because that green centre is the one starting the play. You have a wing defence against your wing attack, and you have your goal defence and goal attack there. You have your wing attack, wing defence, and your goal attack, goal defence in that side as well. And you obviously have your goal shooting goalkeepers in each of the goal circles. The goalkeepers can only come out of that goal circle into the third section, so here. And then obviously your wing attacks can come into this zone but not in that goal circle and come into the centre third. and that goes for the same as the wing defence. They can go into the centre and the goal third, but they aren't allowed in the goal circle, and obviously the blue wing